365 days a year.
In real radio stations, they've put their private classrooms in these places so you can apprentice under professionals. And
how
as you
bad
learn,
is it?
you're making connections.
It's raining steadily. I mean, it just hasn't. That's the problem. It just hasn't stopped raining. I mean, this area is probably going to get like 5 to 8 inches, possibly more. Could be up to 10.
Okay.
No problem. You can learn from a radio professional via remote learning tools as well. This is education reimagined to keep you out of debt as you learn in real-world settings. Interested? Visit radioconnection.com for more information today. That's radioconnection.com.
Interesting.
Jake Asman here.
How did this morning go?
We're all dealing with is wearing a mask, but not
Good as always.
Yeah?
Super Naturals 3-layer comfortable breathable mask enhanced with nano silver tech.
Jake was talking a little Carson Wentz for you.
Oh, no.
Actually, talking Peterson.
I didn't see the email this morning
Children in stock now and shipped to you fast.
Where'd you email?
from Craig.
You didn't?
No, did it come?
No, man, like at 5 in the morning.
Can you forward it to me, please?
Hell no.
Come on,
True
man. It's
radio
just-
professionals in real radio
This
stations.
is how I am being
Actually, you
slowly
don't have
phased
to
out,
imagine,
no longer getting
because
the
there's-
email. It's day one.
You didn't get the memo?
No, I don't think I would get the memo.
One-on-one
The
can
memo
be mentored
has
by
to do with
radio
me.
pros. Plus, you don't have to worry about getting into a crazy amount of debt.
This thing
with
really
school
was sent?
tuition either. Radio Connection keeps their tuition at much lower costs. To find out more info, visit radioconnection.com.
Come on.
548.
So is that local time to Houston, 548?
Yeah, 648 your time.
Well, how about you forward it on over here?
Yeah, I don't think you're on this list. I don't know if I'm allowed to.
I don't think I am. I
Let's
don't.
see,
I didn't get
Tony,
it.
Jake, Peralt, Pepe, Bill Schmidt even got it.
I'm telling you, man, I'm not on there.
You're not on here. Even Sean got it. Yeah, you didn't make the cut. I don't know what to do about this, man.
Intertwined with the storyline. Rian Johnson screwed up the middle one, all right? The last one, JJ's doing his best to try and save it, but it was all over the place. It felt forced. And then you know why it felt forced, because they had no idea what they were going to do with Ray in the sequels. And Daisy Ridley confirmed it.
The Jake Asman Show, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
Headed to Texas to watch your team play, but don't know where to go for that pregame drink? Visit CultureMap.com for all of the hottest spots in Houston, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio. From the most popular bars to those favorite dine-in gems, Culture Map has it all. Then before you leave town, why not visit some of the best places to shop or see some of the sights? Culture Map has extensive coverage on all the things to do in the city you're in. So check out CultureMap.com. That's CultureMap.com.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. And MLS number 3030.
This is a Gal Media property in partnership with Jacob Media.
Set your system's volume control for slightly above the normal listening level.
Let's go. Second level thinking is defined as looking beyond the easy, obvious conclusions.
You got to do some smart thinking.
Welcome to the second level on the Sports Map Radio Network, a show where we go beyond the box score.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
We have some news in the National Football League regarding a quarterback signing. And I don't know how shocked or surprised you are about this, but there is some vested interest, for me at least, as somebody who took the Denver Broncos with multiple playouts early before the season began, before I got to see how rough it was without Drew Lock in there. And now they've addressed the quarterback position in Denver. And as I mentioned, more than just a little, a lot of vested interest in that. We also have a story that we were all over, I'd say, at least a month, if not more, regarding fans in the stands and what you would see instead of live human beings. Knowing some places, some sports, even in Kansas City, we saw opening night, a couple of areas in college football where live people are allowed in the stands. For the most part, baseball, football, sports that are live going on outside of a bubble right now, not having that ability to do that. We were all over a story, and it's only right that as it resurfaces with some closure, we bring it to you right away. Now, second hour, fake news as always with Ron Culver, who's in the house here and trying to survive the latest tropical storm to hurricane, whatever it's currently labeled as, down in Houston. We also have the return of the Philly Godfather, the top number one NFL and beyond, of course, prognosticator in the country. World famous, not even country famous, but world famous Philly Godfather to get ahead of these lines on Tuesday right now that everything is flipped. But we'll begin with Blake Bortles, number one, and this other story regarding fans. And maybe not the typical fan you're used to in the stands. But again, we were all over this thing. We called it a long time ago. It's only right that we pat ourselves on the back. It's what we do here on the second level. In case you're new to the program, this is exactly what we do each and every day.
Hi, this is Jay Farner, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has
Oh, look
never
at
been
that.
more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most.
Thank
Mortgage
you.
rates are near historic lows. So when you call 8338-ROCKET or
Did he
visit
play
us at
anything from Peterson or
rocketmortgage.com
just,
to start
you
your
know?
refinance, you'll be
Who, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a soundbite from him.
30-year fixed rate mortgage is
Doesn't know why
3.375%. APR 3.59%.
Wentz has
Doesn't know why
regressed.
Wentz has regressed.
Take
He doesn't
some
know it?
positive financial steps forward with a cash out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost.
I mean, does
that you're
the
looking
guy
for.
not know it? What's that?
I have that soundbite if you want.
Yeah, let me come back and talk about the
At
game
Rocket
last
Mortgage,
night for a
we're
minute.
committed to every client, every
Stupid
time.
Blake
no
Bortles
exceptions,
thing.
no excuses, giving you the best mortgage experience. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Rates subject to change. A 1.875% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Customers, students, and staff expect a new level of clean. Cintas has the essential products and services.
Anything
help you
else
carry
crazy
out
happened
cleaning
today
protocols
besides Jake Asman going after Doug
Cintas
Peterson?
performs surface
Peterson?
sanitizer and disinfectant spray services to common touch points.
No, I guess it's just like dumb coach moves. We can talk about We talked about the players getting fined.
Oh, the coaches, you mean, for
Coaches
masks?
getting fined for not wearing masks.
Yeah, I have that here.
.com.
Or
It's a lot of money, man.
Anthony Lynn just being a complete idiot.
Company
Why? What did
customizes
I
your
miss?
home
What did
insurance.
he do
Anthony Lynn
for the
just
Chargers?
doubled down, saying, "Yeah, if Tyrod Taylor's healthy, Tyrod Taylor's the starting quarterback."
Oh, there's no way that he's going to be healthy. though.
I've requested no less than 13 balconies.
Come on.
A lot.
All the world's a stage.
Well, with Liberty Mutual, thou customize and thou saveth.
That's the spirit.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Whether class is in school, at home, or a little bit of both, school goes on.
And Staples has everything you need to start the year right.
From lap desks to notebooks, noise-canceling headphones to UV sanitizers.
And all at amazing prices. This week, notebooks and rulers are just 25 cents each.
Now that's a back-to-school deal you don't want to miss. Shop in-store, order online, or pick up curbside. School on, save on at Staples.
Ends 9/26. Limit 30. Limits vary online while supplies
Did
last.
you see
Curbside
this
available in most stores.
bet
Jake
that the guy
Asman here,
lost
one of
on the
big
Falcons
changes
game?
We're all dealing with is wearing a mask, but not
an idiot.
It's amazing.
layer comfortable, breathable mask in hands with nano silver technology. Nano silver can block those tiny drops and particles from getting to your nose and mouth. They also offer those popular nano silver neck gaiters, available in sizes for adults and children, in stock now and shipped to you fast. Order now at boomernaturals.com. Use promo code Jake and save 20%. That's code Jake at boomernaturals.com.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable where we are right now. We're live on Twitter, by the way, and everywhere else for that matter.
scratching
We're live.
beneath the
Live on Twitter.
Twitter, Twitch, everywhere.
Sports Map Radio.
All right.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
We're live everywhere,
From the
man.
O'Reilly Auto Parts
People can hear you
Studios,
like they can hear
here's
me.
Eitan Shander.
So I hear through a little bird in my ear, and that, of course, is a big one in Ron Culver, that Jake Asman brought up Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz, even played a little soundbite from Doug Peterson. And who am I to divert from any direction in which we are going this morning on the network? So we'll let you hear from Doug Peterson and why it is a laughable scenario. It's being discussed all over the place this morning across the board, the morning television shows and Twitter across the country. It's not just a local story here in Philadelphia. So with that said, why not, since I am here and have a little bit of insight into what's going on, that'll definitely be brought up before we break this half hour. Now, as far as last night is concerned, I don't understand specifically how Drew Brees is coming under a ton of fire. Now, on the local show that I do here leading up to Monday Night Football, we always look at a couple of games and props that are going on. And one thing that we talked ourselves into was Drew Brees under 1.5 thrown touchdowns. And it just made sense that they would get some productivity elsewhere. Saints had the absence of Michael Thomas, and we're in a really tough scenario where the Raiders are opening up their new building, fans or no fans, in Vegas. And Derek Carr looked good. He looked good. I mean, they have speed. They have some talent that they can throw the football to. They have a good, consistent tight end, and they have one hell of a running back that you can pound on the ground and really help you in some scenarios where there's pressure coming to alleviate and get the ball to him quick. So it shouldn't come as a shock. I know that they were a 4-point dog at home, but they were bet down. 6.5 is where that thing opened up. It was good football. I enjoyed watching it. I know the Saints didn't put up 50 like people expect the Saints to do, but this was not the equivalent of watching the Nuggets and Lakers struggle their way to 200 total points. This was a good football game with a lot of electricity. Couple of good storylines here, like now the Raiders at 2-0 with John Gruden at the helm and a quarterback that never will put people at ease and always will be one turnover, bad throw, interception away from everybody jumping back to that conversation of, same old Carr. And look, some of that, and I don't have to deal with it as a Raiders fan because I'm not a Raiders fan, but some of that is just the built-in theater that comes with this team. And now, as it's been more of a forgotten point because they didn't play there yet up until last night, and even still, no fans, really nothing active like we're used to at the Strip, it's not the same party. It's not the same event, if you will, at Las Vegas normally when you're opening up a stadium in the middle of a pandemic. It really isn't. But make no mistake, that moving forward, especially this year, if in fact fans come back and we start to see some return to normalcy, the Raiders are going to be a huge storyline because of the built-in theater and drama that comes with just the people that make the team up, Gruden specifically, but also being in Vegas. And it's no real knock elsewhere, but you really have to have a couple of compelling storylines to carry being in Indianapolis. There's no knock on Indy. It's a cool city and it's there, but it's not built in with its own compelling back drama that you have with Vegas. And of course, the continued handshakes to hugs you have with sports gambling, especially in Vegas, but also across the country and the NFL building that partnership. So I do think at the very least from last night on the field, Raiders are now have put themselves in the conversation of being undefeated. It's not going to last, I think, a long time, terribly long, but still they're a good football team this year and they have a shot to hang around, compete for a wild card. Puts even more pressure on a team like the Chargers, who are lingering at that 1-1 record and not really knowing what's going to happen with the quarterback spot moving forward. But at the same time, we knew that there was going to be at least one team outside of the Chiefs to put some pressure on that third now extra wild card that you can get in the NFL. And it looks as if the Raiders are going to be locked into any type of wild card conversation so long as somebody big doesn't go down. But it was a pretty big night for that Raiders offense going up and down the field. And I don't know about ratings and what's come out yet or how many people watched it and all of that we need to wait, especially from a streaming standpoint. But that was pretty compelling football. We got 2 straight nights. If you look at how the week ended, we went from a full day on Sunday, capped off with a play that went down to the final, like a game, I should say, that went down to the final play, in which Cam Newton getting stuffed at the goal line was the end result of the Patriots-Seahawks game that put up a combined 65 points. Awesome television, better than anything on, and it shows because apparently the Emmys had its worst ratings of all time. Not a shocker by any means. Again, I don't care if it's the ESPYs, the Emmys, the Tonys, the Oscars. I don't know how people can sit through these award shows. I'm not judging. You can do whatever you want. It's your time. I'm not there to watch over you and issue a mandate of how you spend your day, but I just don't get it, and I never will get it, and it's not even worth a conversation with me trying to hit me over the head with it because I'll never understand the draw to them. With that said, maybe they should have had a little more football in it. Maybe if they had a couple of highlights, if they did a live look-in, I don't know, maybe they could have bought rights for a live look-in, and you would have seen just a little bit of a boost. At the very least, it wouldn't have finished the all-time low as far as ratings are concerned. And then we go from Sunday Night Football into Monday Night Football. Again, that total closed at 48, another high-scoring game. Even in a losing effort, we talked a little bit about this on Monday, how the NFL is shifting to where you can lose. In some cases, you can lose bad and put up 24 to 28 points. And it's not going to look like a bad team, glaringly obvious how boring of a team you are. Doesn't mean like, let's say the Texans, for example, who struggled their way to 16 points are in that category. They went up against a really good football team. I'm saying as far as overall, last night was a perfect example of it, where the Saints struggled, if you will. And that was an adjective I heard used to describe it, or maybe it would be a verb, pardon me. Adverb used to describe what was going on. And at that point, you didn't see much from the ground that dominated what Josh Jacobs did. Drew Brees only threw for 1 touchdown, despite going over 300 yards. And it was looked at as a struggle, which I don't think it was. I think their offense just went up against a team that, when they click, can put up some big points. And it's always going to start with the tight end. That's going to allow things to open up on the outside. But when you have a running back like Josh Jacobs, look, the Raiders are a good football team. They really are. Raiders are a playoff team. They're a good football team. What's holding them back is a couple of things. You know, you can pinpoint some things on defense that's going to hold 1 or 2 teams always back, whatever their Achilles heel is or wherever they need to get better at. But it's this case, and I'm watching it happen here in Philadelphia. We'll get to this Doug Peterson clip coming up in a minute, but I'm watching it here, and you've seen it elsewhere. The quarterback, Derek Carr, is going to be the reason why this team loses a game, and it might be a couple of games, and it might be the most important game, but that moment is coming. And no matter what, there's just nothing he can do yet to alleviate that concern, to remove that sense of doubt. Last night was a great step in the right direction, and I think the Raiders will continue to build with this. They clearly have built a good team, and they clearly have put the right pieces around Carr to where if they can protect him and give him some time to throw the football, knowing that Darren Waller is going to be the safety blanket of all blankets out there, there's going to be some openings. Definitely there will be some openings. And you saw that with a guy who looked pretty comfortable throwing the football against a defense that's good. The New Orleans Saints is a good defense. 34 points is tough. On a morning after they give up 34, to hear some idiot yelling into the mic, they've got a good defense. They've got a good defense. They do. And I think that just speaks more, to me at least, it speaks more to what Derek Carr was able to do than the Saints defense just imploding. But here we are at Shander Show, twitch.tv/Shander Show, 800-224-2004. It was a good football game. The Saints were able to make up for the loss of Michael Thomas. I don't think that if you add Michael Thomas in there, all of a sudden 10 more points are up there on the board. They had opportunities. They did. And they have enough talent to where they shouldn't miss Michael Thomas in any game against any team to where they can't still go out and beat, I'd say, 95% of the football teams in the league. And you know what? The Raiders are in that 95%. Doesn't mean that the Saints broke anything or that the Saints gave, I would say, let the Raiders off the hook or gave them any type of free pass. It means that the Saints are, in actually contrary to that, the Saints are not able, and I don't think based on how they played and how close this was at times even going into the fourth quarter, I don't think the Saints have the ability after what we saw last night to fall back on, well, we didn't have Michael Thomas, man. Come on. We didn't have Michael Thomas. That wasn't the reason why they lost and won't be the reason why they'll lose again moving forward if, in fact, they can't get him back. But great football game. Honestly, way better than what we've seen already from early starts with other leagues. This thing is in full effect right now, and we continue to see the primetime games reward us. Even this Thursday, you watch. You mock right now. We're 2 days away from it. Jags and Dolphins, but we'll be locked in on that. Somebody out there is going to play a captain league and a DFS tournament. It's going to happen a million times over. There's going to be money exchange, bets placed, fantasy people started. You'll see it all. The NFL is an amazing product. There's some other things outside of the National Football League that we'll have to squeeze in. One of them, and I mentioned the Doug Peterson comments. We'll get to that this hour. But one of them is the story we were all over regarding fans. We'll hit on that next. Second Level Sports Map Radio.
Stop with the Jeff Van Gundy for the 1,000th time getting every job that's open in the NBA for the last 15 years. The guy's got the cushiest job in television. If he comes back after what has it been, 20 years to coach, I'll keel over. I mean, he's been offered every job in
Has
America.
it really been 20 years?
He's been offered the White House, and he turned that down too.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Has it really? Has it really?
Pushing the odds with Matt Perrault.
With the president
Say it again, Nathan. Sorry.
listing the number of states that are going to
Was
play
it
college football,
was it
you
really
are being
20
so
years
transparent
What?
since
of your
Scott Farrell
minions
said?
in the media.
Oh, with Jeff Van Gundy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm watching sports for
Time flies when you're having fun, man.
and doing this. You're not going to hear from them
Yeah.
at all about the president getting
You think he
involved
was having
in this
fun?
topic. So that
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't want to hear it. They want it out when it's against them. And so the line between sports and politics is gone. I don't ever want to hear another thing about Black Lives Matter or a guy kneeling in the end zone that distracts you or whatnot, because that is gone. It's no longer a conversation. If you don't like that, okay, I'm sorry, but that's reality.
Pushing the odds with Matt Perrault. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 Eastern.
Wake up call.
I don't know if it's the most Metsian thing ever,
but it's close.
It's
up
close.
there.
I
It's on
still
the
say-
large list.
I still say
You'd be
it's
hard
fighting out of
pressed to
order.
find
We've
four
done the show
bigger
for a
pieces
little
of
over 2
trash
years,
than
and
these
I feel
dudes
like we
beating
have-
each
we could
other
write
up in the
books.
middle of the
Right.
street.
All the amount
That's
of
why
Is a
that's
headline
why
from
he talked
Barstool.
about on this program. That's
Flick
why
or
this fell up
stick?
to the dumb of the day. Not for what Brody said, for you being absent.
That's right.
What do you think?
Call with Tony D and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Between who?
Click it or stick it.
This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. It was so great
What's
to
that?
see Vin Scully get on.
Oh, you're saying click it or stick it between who?
No, should I click
Warmed. I was like,
or stick out? Like stick it. Like don't click it.
Yeah, don't click it.
our friend Vin Scully is fantastic.
Listen,
He's
Out on
Vince
that
Scully
trash,
just
huh?
taking the social media. Not on that trash. video for a few minutes, talking about baseball, talking about whatever it might be, I'm all in.
Do you have the surfer
I want to hear him talk
story?
about dirt, talk about fish, talk
And fake
about
news?
the number 13. No, wasn't fast enough.
I know. I couldn't either. I mean,
What's the surfer story?
Kester, I grew up loving
All right,
When the surfboard
Yeah,
gets washed ashore in
the Philippines.
Pennsylvania, or not Pennsylvania, Philippines.
So you do know
after
it.
smoking.
No, I know it.
Was that in today's
No.
show?
Why
No?
would I bring that up?
I don't know.
That happens all the time.
Does it really?
Mornings from 7.
No, not really. I call bullshit on that.
Well, hold on. Do you want to come out with the Peterson audio real quick?
You want me to play it right here?
Yeah.
Sure.
We got people watching on the stream. What the hell?
You're listening to The Second Level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, with way more than the scores, here's Eitan Shander.
You know, it's a good question. For us, it's a matter of continuing to work, I think as coaches and players, we continue to strive to get better every single day. I just don't want Carson to feel like he has to make all the plays every single time. I just want him to just be Carson.
That's Doug Peterson. We told you, and if you were listening to the Jake Asman show, you heard Jake's thoughts on what is now become a national storyline. What's wrong in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson, and mainly the Philadelphia Eagles, who began 0-2. And it's worth noting that if they're 1-1, this isn't as big or nearly as big of a story as it is. The reason why, and you do have to take things as they come and try and compartmentalize as much as you can, especially with only 2 games of data or criteria here. But that throttling by the Rams, as difficult as it was to watch, and I watched every second of it, it was not too big of a shock. It really wasn't. Now, the Rams did it in a different way, mainly because the Eagles' game plan was don't allow Aaron Donald in the backfield, get the ball out as fast as possible. And the Eagles executed that part up until the football actually leaving Carson Wentz's hands. But you heard Doug Peterson not really sure as to why Carson Wentz is starting, or at least looking like he's regressing. People are talking about that. The talking heads on television are all concerned about this thing. What's going on? What's wrong? Why is this happening? At the same time, though, if they beat Washington, if they don't blow that lead against Washington, you're not having this conversation. It's probably still happening locally. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure there are people that'll call up local radio stations or tweet local shows and put out on their own Twitter account or their own sites, this is what needs to happen, Carson Wentz, and break stuff down. But it's not a bigger storyline as it is right now. You lose to Washington, and now all of a sudden you earn everything that comes your way. All of the negativity, the questioning, what's wrong, all of the early panic that is settling in, not just from fans, but from people who are paid to talk about sports in general. This has now hit their radar. And I wish I could sit here in Philadelphia and give you some keen insight into what's gone wrong with Carson Wentz, or on the flip side, why this is a major overblown storyline. But outside of the obvious, which is they're going to beat the Bengals on Sunday, there really isn't a one, at least, piece of criteria or data that you can point to outside of Carson Wentz really always struggled with a couple of things. And if the talent isn't right around him, it's going to magnify it even more. And one of the biggest things that Carson Wentz and other quarterbacks struggle with, and Carson hasn't been the same since the year in 2017, when he was a major cog in the wheel that secured home field advantage and why the Eagles were able to even host teams to go on and play in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles coming in late, really late in that season. But defenses always find a way to catch up. They always do. It's what separates a couple of rare breeds of quarterbacks in the NFL from everybody else. And you can have a couple of good seasons. You can have an amazing season. You can have every year is an amazing season. And you look at that last example, which is a very small group of that top tier. And I think even now, with a couple of years in under his belt for Lamar Jackson, we're still trying to figure out how sustainable it will be. I think clearly he is, until proven otherwise, one of the top talents in the National Football League. But Aaron Rodgers is an example. And now Patrick Mahomes is an example. And there are a couple of other guys that are playing really good football right now. I'm not going to say Ryan Tannehill is in that same level, but I'd have no problem putting Lamar Jackson in there right now, knowing, of course, things can change. And what Carson Wentz is, he had an MVP season before he got hurt. He was the MVP of the league before he went down in 2017. If you even look at where voting was, some unofficial stuff that came out, odds that came out, by the time he got hurt against the Rams, he was leading everything across the board, from odds to votes to everything else. He would have been, so long as he had just stayed healthy, he would have been the MVP of the league. NFL figured him out. They figured, now he's good enough, and this is the thing where he's good enough to still have a couple of really good games. He's good enough to play well, even in games in which he doesn't play well in. He has talent. There are a couple of quarterbacks like this that we see. I mean, he's a younger version, different style still. But Matt Ryan is a guy like that, where there's always going to be a moment. We saw that even with Andrew Luck for a little bit, where Luck would be miraculous in the third, fourth quarter, but then you look back at the entire game and he's miraculously pulling his team out of holes that he dug himself. It's really hard to play this game at the quarterback position at a consistently high level. It's really difficult. Sometimes you have one-hit wonders, and that's all they had. They had that 1 year. And they keep putting out new music, and you're like, is this ever going to change? Are they ever going to get back to that one song? And then all of a sudden you stop buying or downloading, in this case, their music. You stop buying it because you realize that that's all there'll ever be is a one-hit wonder. But the worst, it's one thing when you know you've got a hit, and it's like every single song they come out with, no matter how manufactured and mass-produced it might be by the label in which they're on, you get music after music, and it's a given right now. Somebody comes out with a new album, doesn't matter if there are 30 tracks on it, you're going to download it and buy it because it rewards you, and they continue to reward you. That's Patrick Mahomes, that's Aaron Rodgers, that's Russell Wilson. In the case of Carson Wentz, it's not just a one-hit wonder with one single and then that's it, and nobody buys their music again. He's come out with a couple of songs that are kind of decent. And the next album that came out after the 2017 campaign was kind of decent. Played through a back injury 1 year and then played with nobody, practice squad guys last year, and he was still able to finish with pretty good numbers. Both years, pretty good numbers. And you're like, well, okay, just fix one thing. Just get Kanye to produce one track. Just twist something. Can you get Taylor Swift on there as a Bieber as a guest? Just something. Can you just twist one little thing? Can you add tinker one little thing? And maybe this thing will blow up again like it did. And that's what drives you nuts about not only that group, that artist, but that quarterback, is they had that huge hit. And Carson Wentz was in 2017 where he had that MVP season. Huge hit. Big album, couple of songs on that album that you didn't even expect were good. You bought it because of the single, and look at that. Album's pretty good. It rewarded you. And then the next album was it was okay. It didn't really hit. It's not terrible. It's okay. And the next album, it's like, it's there. It was a little better, but it doesn't have that hammer that drops like that first hit, like that first single. You can just kind of see yourself distancing yourself from the artist. Stuck with the quarterback. He ain't going anywhere. But I also don't think that anybody is capable of reclaiming that magic 3 years away from it.
Garner, CEO of Rocket Mortgage, Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so when you call 833-8-ROCKET or visit us at rocketmortgage.com to start your refinance, you'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.375%, APR 3.59%. Right now could be a great time for you to take some positive financial steps forward with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for. In addition, we may be able to help you refinance with
What if I'm
little or
allergic
no
to something?
out-of-pocket costs. At Rocket Mortgage, we're committed to every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, giving you the best mortgage experience. Call us today at 833-8-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Rates subject to change. A 1.875% fee to receive this discounted rate.
Reminds me, isn't that the very famous Def Leppard
At
song?
CDW, we get that even the biggest jobs need to fit on your lap.
It's true. My entire workday happens right here on my lap.
And you can get it done faster with the performance and security of a device configured by CDW and powered by 10th Gen Intel Core V Pro processors.
Nice. Are you done yet, Mommy? More time for story time.
An even better use of your lap. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/IntelBeGreat.
ESG is responsible investing. Who's responsible for building ESG into your investments? At PGIM, the pursuit is on for outperformance, to out-deliver with customized strategies, integrating ESG best practices into our investment decisions, as asset managers and fiduciaries to outserve, with our commitment to better ESG outcomes.
How much
Join
did
the
you
pursuit of
watch on
outperformance
Sunday
at PGIM,
of the?
investment
Did you watch any
management
golf?
business of Prudential. Learn more at PGIM.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Andy.
I mean, it's
If you
really
don't
tough
know
to
me,
watch
it's
anything
probably
right now.
because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things.
Yeah, my cable box wasn't working for the longest time, right? So I haven't really watched football on my TV yet this season, NFL football.
If you're one of them.
What is
Finally got
going
it
on?
working- Finally got it working on Saturday. And, so I was all excited for Sunday. Saturday, I was, just had college football in the background while, we were doing, cleaning up and stuff like that. Sunday, my son has a baseball game, but it was raining. We thought for sure that it would get canceled, but it didn't until we finally got there, and it started coming down harder, and it got canceled midway through. I could not get home fast enough. I was like, yes, NFL Red Zone, here I come. So there was no room for golf.
I don't even understand what's going on.
Dealing with.
What do you mean?
It's the second
Like,
level on
were
the
you-
SportsMap Radio Network.
Hold on.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander.
So we're live on the stream as well, twitch.tv/Shander Show. You could follow along at Ron Culver, 2 N's, at Shander Show on Twitter. Fake news in the second hour. Our buddy, the Philly Godfather, will rejoin the program. First time we've had him on as the NFL season begins. And you want to get your pen and paper down or take notes on your phone any way that you can jot something down physically or digitally when he's talking. But you just spoke in the break, Ron, and I know people are paying attention on the stream and are eagerly anticipating more details to this, but I don't understand what's happened. You've told me this now 2 days in a row, and I still have no idea what's happened in your household. Were you at some point not able to watch television at all, and you finally got back on the grid?
The only way we were able to get television or be able to watch television is via internet, via Wi-Fi.
All right, well, that's not a terrible thing. That's
No,
how
it's
I
not a
get my
terrible thing.
television.
But to watch games and stuff, I'm not, I'm already paying for the sports package through my cable, and it's been this ongoing battle with our cable company.
Did
to
you
figure
win
out
it?
Why? Yes, we finally won. And no, it has nothing to do with it. Finally got a guy out here who was competent. That's what it takes. We've had so many different people who came out here, fixed it. They pretty much put duct tape and paper clips on it and then took off because they got it working. And then we'd run into the same issue. finally got a tech out here. I was like, oh man, well this piece is broken. And it had nothing to do with what was inside the house. It was in our backyard.
Now, how many people came before that, before you actually got somebody who understood?
We've had about 4, because the other issue that we kept running into was like, oh, it's you live in Texas, and Texas isn't COVID friendly right now.
So you can't have anybody come
So
out.
we couldn't really have people come out.
I'm telling you, this is a
Unless-
perfect reason
unless-
why.
The only way we can get people to come out is if our internet and our cable was out. But if it was just our cable or just our internet, yeah, you can make do.
Honestly, you are a living, breathing commercial right now for why
Yeah.
you cut the cord. If you
wanna-
had the
wanna
cord
know how I
cut,
got them out here? You want to know how I got them out here?
well, I'm sure you lied to him.
No, I didn't lie to him. I simply asked him, why am I paying for this? Because I was serious. I mean, why am I paying all this money for cable that I can't use? I said, I'm done with it. I had a guy out the next day.
All right. Well, look, now that you have this thing resolved and you've
Now
seen
that
the
I have it
difference,
resolved, and we are.
why not cut the cord?
Well,
why go back to
know.
a scenario where you could deal with that? You have a
I'm an
hurricane
old
coming.
man.
You have 3 kids. You should have the highest
They don't
internet.
even watch TV. You kidding me?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
We do have the highest grade internet we can get right now.
There you go.
'Cause
So you're
my
fine.
wife works from home and needs all the attention she gets.
The one thing that's dragging the internet the most, just plug that directly into the router. Like I do that with the Comrex here. So there are no issues with anything else that's dragging. And the stream is done via the Wi-Fi here. So I can have my wife upstairs. My wife is right now Zooming to her 8th grade class. I'm out here streaming to the world on the video camera, and I'm connected to you via the hotbox here out across the Radioverse.
Yep.
And this is all being done while I can right now simultaneously have 3 TVs on with YouTube TV. I could run the idiots on ESPN, I could run the idiots on Fox, and I could run King of Queens reruns. All of that going on at once.
You got to throw in a different show every once in a while, man.
I'm telling you, the Office or something mindless in the background.
Nah, I know we need to get you into a good show though.
Well, I tell you, I blew through Absentia. So there were 3 seasons. I don't know if they're making a 4th. I don't think they are, to be honest with you. I think it's over.
Okay, how about this? Have you seen The Boys?
I've seen previews.
So
and
have I. I have not watched it. Now, Tony was letting me know that this is a good show to get into.
I don't
because
know.
It's the anti-superhero movie.
There's just something. I've seen a bunch of previews, man.
The
And
good guys are actually, I was thinking, okay, because I was like, all right, I'm going to get into it.
why can't we find a show collectively
That's what
that
I'm
we can
saying.
decide? Well, I think The Boys. Let's see if we
Not
can
The
do any
Boys for you?
better.
All right, that's all right.
Look,
Well,
I'm not anti The
Give us
Boys.
suggestions, not you. No, I don't want a suggestion from you. Got the Twitterverse, the Twitchverse, all your streaming platforms. Give us a suggestion.
Okay, there. Do you like British cop dramas?
What? Is there such thing?
What do you mean? Is there such thing? They're
I mean,
famous for that.
I'm assuming there is.
They're
How are
famous
they-
for
what
that
do you mean
stuff.
They're famous for that.
Like what do you mean the cop drama originated from the BBC? Like they're the one. Dick Wolf, he's like the not Elton. What's his name? Presley, Elvis Presley. Famous for
Okay.
stealing everything.
I'll believe you, but did it predate Chips?
Well, that's not a drama, isn't it? Isn't that more of a comedy?
Chips? No, Chips was a drama.
Chips was a drama. Okay.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
All right. There's a new show called LA's Finest. I don't know if I can watch that.
Yeah, no, I know which one. I mean, I can definitely watch it. I don't know if I can get into it.
No,
I don't mind watching Gabrielle Union or Jessica Alba.
I'm trying like crime shows, not anything horrifying or anything like that. I don't like, but
No, this is a crime show. This follows around 2 female cops.
oh no, I know LA's Finest does, but I'm saying as far as trying to find,
They put the fine and finest, Aton.
they do. Now is Prime? I feel like Prime is a good place to start, right? Or should we
Prime, Hulu,
should we go
Netflix.
somewhere else?
I already have all the streaming platforms.
Well, so do I.
TV.
A very English scandal.
What?
This is the name of the show
Stick
here.
to our country. This is America.
I'm telling you, you're going to find a lot better stuff
I know
over
that
there
there's good stuff out there, but this is America.
on the BBC.
Yeah, people. I know people are listening, going right. Damn right, Ron. America.
Yeah, I mean,
America TV.
we don't have to be truly.
Don't need to be watching people having tea and crumpets.
Okay, so there is this one show that has what's the name of it? Jason Sudeikis is in it.
Sudeikis?
Sudeikis.
Oh, yeah. I know which one you're talking about, where he's the football coach.
Yes.
Yes, I've been meaning to get into that one.
All right. Well, let's hold on. Let's put that down.
That's sports.
Yeah.
Sportsy.
So we'll put Jason Sudeikis show, that football show in there. Now that's in another country. Is your xenophobia going to be okay here?
Well, it's America.
It's well, in this
another
case,
country.
it's just no. He's actually in Britain the whole time.
No, I know. He's coaching in the English Premier League. They take in a high school football coach. I think it was a high school football coach or a college football coach, and he's coaching a professional soccer team.
Correct. Now I'm trying to
I'm
find.
a soccer nerd. Why wouldn't I like that?
Yeah, I figured you would. I was appealing to you. I think we can do better still. I've seen Sneaky Pete, which is not a great show. Dies down really fast.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Thank you. That's the name of the show. I was trying to find more of a drama, more of a longer show than just the 30-minute in and out drama or comedy that you're going to get with Ted Lasso. But so I don't know if there's a second season. Have you ever watched, this isn't the show I'm talking about, but have you ever watched Black Mirror? You've seen Black Mirror, right?
No.
Okay, well, Black Mirror is insane. It's one of the best television shows out.
What's it about?
Oh, it's basically, it's an anthology, so not every episode is tied in together by any means. It's all different. And the show is basically a take on near future about technology and what type of technology is going to be available and how human beings are going to screw it up just because we're inherently bad and just have this and where our society is. So it's major statements on society. I'll give you a quick example of one episode. There is a piece of technology that comes out where you can put an implant in your child, and then that implant will then go back to your iPad to where you can monitor your child from inside. Like you can monitor her stress levels, his stress levels. You can see what your child is seeing. It basically gives you the cam from their eyes where you could see that. So just imagine what, trouble would go with an overprotective parent and, major statements like that. And they do a ton of different statements on human conscious and just life after death and everything. But there's another show like that called Electric Dreams. But I didn't know if there was a second season out for that. So we can put that on pause at least. Orphan Black. Have you seen that? Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Vikings? No?
Well, I started it, then
Not good?
I got tired of it. I was over it.
What about Tumbleleaf? No, that looks like a children's program.
Well, that probably went over at my house.
Well, that's the thing is, yeah, if we're talking about something that the entire Culver family is going to enjoy, that would be one thing. But I don't know. We'd probably have to find, it's not going to be the Bradshaw bunch. We can eliminate that right away, right?
I don't know. Come on, Eagles fan. You can get around.
No, there's just no
They
way.
were once half your team, Steagles.
Never. I'll never watch that show ever. Now, what about some of these on Prime, for example? Some of these crime shows. Do you have any interest in these crime shows?
Always.
Marcella? Have you ever seen that?
No.
You don't know what it is?
I have no idea.
What about Hightown? It's
Nope.
on Stars.
Don't know what that is.
Man, this is going to be tough. You don't know any of these shows.
Yeah, I guess it's just Ted Lasso.
Winona Earp?
Winona Earp?
Yeah.
Is that a spinoff of Wyatt Earp?
I
Is that
think so.
His niece, his sister?
If Winona
Earp,
does it not have Winona Ryder in it?
it better.
Seriously.
She better be the title character.
How do you not have Winona Ryder as far as her love for the Winona Earp storyline?
Well, Winona Earp is probably too busy, or Winona Ryder is probably too busy doing Stranger Things.
This show is genuinely the best show I've ever watched.
Winona
The
Earp?
characters are incredible. The relationships are deep and moving, and the plot is always intriguing.
Okay, you're reading something.
Yeah,
thought
that's
you were
audience
talking, I
reviews.
thought you were talking from yourself.
No.
It's been around since 2016.
It has. Maybe we've missed out on a gem here. We were just going through shows, and now we stumbled upon this.
Winona teams up with Sister Waverly, Agent Xavier Dawes, and Doc Holliday, the cursed with immortality best friend of Wyatt Earp. So Doc Holliday is in this show, but I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not what's his name, Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday.
But Wyatt Earp is her great grandfather.
No.
And Doc Holliday is still alive.
Of course
'cause
he
he's
is.
cursed with immortality.
I'm out.
What are they hunting?
I am probably vampires or zombies
She
or
has
something
been-
supernatural.
I'm looking at the plot line. She has been away from her hometown purgatory for years, but returns to reluctantly take on the role that Wyatt Earp's heir is destined for. Demon protector.
No.
Demon protector.
Zero interest.
So it's one of those.
All right, we'll have to do better. We did not come up with anything. Ted Lasso is all we have.
You were coming up with stuff. We need, some of the listeners need to just chime in and say, hey, man, you need to check this out. Or you need to check this out.
Yeah, but it's going to be the problem is
make Ron go back and rewatch The Office.
yeah, but I don't want to
catch
do
up
that.
on
I
all
want to
these
go back and
episodes.
rewatch shows, or I don't want to go back and watch a show that I missed the first time around. I'd rather watch something that is either current, meaning it's still on. It could be 3 or 4 years old, but it's still current, so we can catch up to it, or it's something that came out in the last year or so. I don't think that's too much to ask. I think we can narrow something down like that. We'll try. We'll wrap the hour next here on the second level.
The Jake Asman Show.
There we go. Top shows to
What's an
binge
easier
watch
costume, Gardner
2020.
Minshew or me always being Jake from State Farm every year? I would say Jake from State Farm. All you need is khaki pants, a red polo shirt,
Outlander.
print out the State Farm logo, print out a name tag that says Jake, and you're ready to go. It is the go-to costume of mine because it's easy and people always laugh. And unlike other people that do it, my name is actually Jake.
The Jake Osmond Show, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
The second level.
I saw this come out that the ACC will propose that every single team in Division I will make the 2021 NCAA tournament. Let's be honest with ourselves. There's only one name who's really running the show here, Mike Krzyzewski. It ain't our buddy in UNC right now. It's not Big Roy down there. Even the history that's there with Syracuse. There are some coaches that you would point to by all means. The person right there at the top of that tree, right when you walk in, and you always see that in like the crime show where they have all the names Last up Chance there, and U. it always leads up to the top person, the boss. The boss behind this has got to be Mike Krzyzewski. He's the godfather. Maybe that's a better way to put it, right? At the very least, Don Krzyzewski gave his Money blessing- Heist?
The second level with Eitan Shander.
Should we watch
weekdays
that?
From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Why should some teams be allowed to have fans?
I guess we should watch Schitt's Creek, if anything, right?
Actually, probably should. That's probably really funny.
Suck.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not going to play Tua. They're going to suck anyway, like they always do.
The fact that they're all the actors were cleaning up.
For the Emmys, right?
Farrell Coast to Coast with Scott Farrell. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Pushing the odds with Matt Perrault.
I mean, some of these shows
Talking to Anthony
just
Tolliver,
sound
Grizzlies
awful.
here on Pushing the Odds. You were quoted by the commercial appeal as saying we have to actually stand up, talk about, and do whatever we can to affect the change that we want to see. Is that what the Bucks did to do anything that they can do to affect change?
Absolutely. We are athletes. We are entertainers. We are basketball players. But before all of that, we are men. The NBA is comprised of 80% black. There's the reason why the NBA is harder than a lot of these
Mindhunter
things
wasn't
is
bad,
because
but
we
I
are
already saw the
80%.
first season.
People who seems to be on all these news channels keep getting shot or hurt. They look like me. They look like LeBron James. They look like Steph Curry. They look like us.
Stranger Things come back
we
yet?
Are like, well, what can we do to,
Not yet, but it's heading into season 4.
Yeah.
So I still haven't seen 2 and 3.
Well,
Matt Perrault. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4.
Although my
You'd have to
son
catch
and wife
up.
have. They'd watch it without me while I was in the other room watching sports.
Then, dealing with the root of the issues. It's the second level on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
So while looking at everything here in the break, trying to figure out something that the two of us would agree on, it does look like, and I was just trying to stay away from a comedy. Comedies are easy, and they're tough to break down as far as episodes are concerned. Whereas if you have a mystery or if you have a thriller, if you have a crime drama, then you can build up to it. And that's lacking with a comedy. But we have Ted Lasso and the show that just cleaned up, as the term you used last night or Sunday night, technically, for the Emmys. Days do blend together still. But the show with Eugene Levy, and this is a Canadian show, right, Ron?
I think so.
I think
But
it
it's
is.
also, but also, don't forget Catherine O'Hara.
Well, no, I was going to say
Gotta
Eugene
give
Levy
her
is
love.
far from the only star in this show here.
Yeah,
But we should probably be paying more attention to Schitt's Creek, right?
Schnitz.
Was that what you're supposed to say?
Yeah, isn't it Schnitz Creek?
No.
With an N?
No, there's no N in there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Uh,
I heard the local television station that I'm on here in Philadelphia
you're
pronounce
right.
it that way. She pronounced our anchor here, Karen Hebb,
Yeah, no, that's
said the
you're-
full word like I did.
Yeah, you're up. You're right. Chris Elliott is in this. We haven't seen Chris Elliott in forever. It
King
looks
of
like
Queens.
The entire Levy clan is in this,
It's a great, yes, it's a great show, and we should probably be watching this.
and his son. I think it's his son, Dan Levy.
Yes, Dan Levy.
He won an Academy or the Emmy too.
It's amazing. They cleaned up shop. It was a complete sweep there. Beat everybody down. It was like the Rams-Eagles game. Now, I don't know if there's anything. I found a couple of these older crime shows, but I don't think that you'll be into them. They're on.
Gotta get to the current, man, right?
Well, I don't think there are many current ones.
Can't go older.
Do you want to watch Manhunt Unabomber on Netflix?
No,
I don't
not
have any
really.
interest in that. No.
No.
That's all I'm
Rather
saying
watch-
is
I think I'd rather watch Tiger King again. Nah,
no, you can just
no,
watch
I'm
her
good.
on Dancing with the Stars. Has she been bounced yet?
I have no idea. All I know is she did dance once, and there was a cool commercial immediately following.
I can't believe that this is even a thing right now. Do you have HBO? Maybe we should look at that.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, second hour, fake news, the Philly Godfather, and this great story about fans coming up. Perry Mason.
You heard about the commercial, right?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
That's awesome.
Are you thinking
All right,
that
man.
it's time to start
I
looking
will
for a
be
new car?
right back.
Then go to automotivemap.com to see the latest auto news, find out about what's ahead for your favorite brands, and learn how much that new car will cost you. Automotivemap.com is your place to see reviews, check out the hottest exotic cars, read tales from the road, and get acquainted with the luxury automotive lifestyle. Into hot mods? Want to see the cars celebrities drive? Love a good restoration job? From off-roading to on-roading, automotivemap.com has it covered. Visit automotivemap.com today.
Wake up call.
Man, he sounded great. I love that Australian accent. I was going to ask him how Vegemite tastes. I was
You
like,
should.
hey,
He wants to come on again. He enjoys it. Next time he comes
Exactly.
on, we got to come up with more Aussie questions.
I should
Like,
ask him, you ever swam with a great white?
Do you have a kangaroo in your apartment?
Exactly. Do you drink Foster's Lager for breakfast?
Well, no. Let's not go that far.
Come on. Why
Well,
not?
maybe Foster's in your Cheerios.
Wasn't that an Australian for beer commercial? Remember that?
Yes.
Foster's Lager. It's Australian for beer.
But as we all know, Australians do not drink Foster's.
They don't?
No.
I didn't know that.
No.
You say that as if that's common knowledge.
That is
I
common
didn't know
knowledge.
that.
Everyone knows that.
Does everybody know that?
Foster's, I believe, is made by Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, stop. Why would you just say, like, Guinness is made in Montana? I didn't know that Foster's wasn't a staple of the Sydney, Melbourne crowd.
It's not.
Wake up call with Tony V and Ron Culver. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Imagine learning about radio and being mentored by true radio professionals in real radio stations. Well, actually, you don't have to imagine because there's Radio Connection. Radio Connection gives you the opportunity to learn one-on-one and be mentored by radio pros. Plus, you don't have to worry about getting into a crazy amount of debt with school tuition either. Radio Connection keeps their tuition at much lower costs. To find out more info, Visit radioconnection.com.
Pushing the odds with Matt Peralt.
When you look at the league in terms of where this league is right now, after LeBron James leaves, the players who will be left, the NBA is in really good shape. I mean, you've got Jamal Murray, who is just 23 years of age. You've got Luka Doncic, who is just 21 years of age. You have Donovan Mitchell, who is just 23 years of age. You've got both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are under 23. I mean, there are so many young superstars, budding superstars in the NBA right now. It's always a league of stars, right? But everyone was so nervous and worried after Michael Jordan left, like who was going to carry the mantle. And we saw what happened after that. And now everyone's so worried that when LeBron James is done, who's going to carry the mantle? Well, I mean, the league is in really good shape with some really, really good players and some very talented teams.
Pushing the odds with Matt Peralt, weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 Eastern.
Wake up call.
If you're a Patriot fan and you're celebrating Brady's failure, I just don't get it. He gave you success as an NFL fan you don't really deserve. You don't deserve 20 years of excellence.
He gave you 2 decades of a dynasty. That's better than anything the NFL has ever produced.
In 20 years of going to the Super Bowls, and let this guy enjoy semi-retirement down in Florida.
Because that's what you do in New England, right? You go down to
That's
Florida to
right.
retire.
Wake up call with Tony V and Ron Culver, weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
The Jake Asman Show.
I never want to hear about the salary cap in the NFL again. If the Rams could afford to pay the most amount of money to a defensive player in Aaron Donald and the most amount of money to any secondary player in the history of the NFL in Jalen Ramsey, like, I don't want to hear about the cap. The salary cap is just it's like the Subway $5 footlong. It's just a figment of your imagination. If you need to make it work in the NFL salary cap wise, you can make it work. If you're Subway and you want to lie to everyone for over a decade about the $5 footlong, apparently you can do that without any consequence. The salary cap is a figment of your imagination in the NFL, just as the Subway $5 footlong is a figment of your imagination. It's not real. It's fake. The salary cap's monopoly money. The Subway $5 footlong is a hoax. I think I've gotten to the bottom of it. Anytime I can take a dig at Subway, I got it. My campaign against Subway continues.
The Jake Asman Show, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
The Jake Asman Show.
Many times in my life, I've had to share a hotel room with somebody else. My plan of selecting which bed depends on proximity to the air conditioning vent and proximity to the most outlets. You know, I have a lot of things that need to be charged. I need to plug in my fan. I need to charge my phone. I have an Apple Watch. I have a Mophie phone charger case. I need outlets galore, and a lot of it depends on where the bed is located in the hotel room.
The Jake Asman Show, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 Eastern.
One of the big changes we're all dealing with is wearing a mask, but not all offer the same comfort and protection. I recommend the Boomer Naturals 3-layer comfortable breathable mask enhanced with nano silver technology. Nano silver can block those tiny drops and particles from getting to your nose and mouth. They also offer nano silver neck gaiters, available in sizes for adults and children, and are in stock now and shipped to you fast. Order now at boomernaturals.com. Use the promo code Tony and save 20%. That's code Tony at boomernaturals.com.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. And MLS number 3030.
This is a Gal Media property in partnership with Jacob Media.
Set your system's volume control for slightly above the normal listening level. Let's go.
Second level thinking is defined as looking beyond the easy, obvious conclusions.
You got to do some smart thinking.
Welcome to the second level on the Sports Map Radio Network, a show where we go beyond the box score.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
We brought up a story before the baseball season even began, right here on this show, this very program, on this very network, about what would happen with cardboard cutout fans if they got hit by home run balls, specifically if they were decapitated. Now, I don't know, Ron, if you remember that verbatim conversation we had. I think you were actually the person who first used the term decapitated, but we talked about this. It wasn't even in like a short segment to wrap up an hour. We spent, as this is normally the case here on this program, probably way too long on that topic. But we talked about, as soon as there was an announcement that came down, and I forget which West Coast team, maybe the Giants or the Dodgers, but one of those teams was first to announce that they were going to do this. And then all of a sudden you saw a bunch of other teams jump in and do it as well. The Philadelphia Phillies, of course, no exception to the rule. And that's the story, is what's going to happen with Phillies fans. But we talked about this and we opened up this conversation. And no matter where you are or how you are consuming this program, multiple ways in which you can on Sports Map Radio, on Twitch, twitch.tv/Shander Show. You can call the phone at any time, 800-224-2004. But there was a conversation about what happens to somebody who pays $100 and their cardboard cutout gets decapitated because somebody hit them with a home run ball. Well, it turns out that 48 cardboard cutouts of fans so far in Philadelphia have been victims of home run balls at Citizens Bank Park. Now, if you're wondering what's going to happen to them, it's not like they're going to get their money refunded. They'll actually get something better as a result of it. It's a pretty cool I'm sorry package, as they're dubbing it. But at least now we have closure. It's one thing for us to bring something up a month and a half, 2 months ago and not get any closure. But now, thanks to at least one baseball team in one market, we have an idea of what happens to these fans.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that.
What else you got
financial
here?
boost
Anything
you're
we
looking
should
for.
play?
Call today.
Any
at
good audio you like?
8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50
No?
states. NMLS number 3030.
Football, basketball, and baseball are all.
Not really.
Did you get up and leave?
It's time to get your bets down.
No, I was just looking over what we had.
That's BetUS.com. You need a sports.
Nothing really.
Nothing,
including live betting.
nothing that went
MMA,
over really
golf,
well
wrestling,
this morning that you
esports,
think
and
is worth playing?
Nobody in the industry.
No.
Bonuses than BetUS.
Yeah, Tony and I don't use audio. We just talk.
I know.
Bonuses
Trust me,
and most sports.
I like
Call
that.
Today, 1-800
Jake is the opposite, though.
Jake uses audio, and today you only had 6 sound bites, and like, I don't even know why.
Did anything jump out?
No.
Canceling headphones to you.
Talk about Joe Judge being emotional about losing Barkley. That it's an emotional thing to lose your top running back.
Ah,
Back to school deal you don't want to miss. Shop in store.
Gruden saying it's a great way to start the Vegas.
I
era.
tell you what, man, what a great way to start
Ends
that victory,
9/26.
man.
Limit 30. Limits vary online
Uh.
while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
Modern modernization today has the products you need to modernize your workplace, like the Neuro Tiara. Upgrade your brain to the ultimate data management tool by simply deleting less critical information.
Childhood erased.
At CDW, we get a Neuro Tiara won't modernize your data. You need hybrid cloud data services from NetApp that simplify management and accelerate digital transformation to help unleash the full potential of your
Are you
data.
still
NetApp
collecting
and IT
cards?
Orchestration by CDW. People who get it.
Am I still collecting what?
Baseball or football or basketball cards?
No.
Dell Technologies Advisor.
I mean, our kids, like, are your
You get
kids?
someone who
No.
who's able to hear more than what's being said and can.
Unless it was autographed.
Well, that's what I mean. Even if
No, I mean, but they don't even do that. They'll go through these phases where it's like, oh, we got to get the Pokemon cards, and then they grow out of it very quickly. And we haven't had that in a while now.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to
Interesting
have
theory.
to wait. We're down to one hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit
I
and
don't
get a
know if I can do
$75
this,
credit
though.
for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
I don't know.
You're listening to the Sports Map Radio Network, broadcasting safely with our masks from Boomer Naturals.
Order now at boomernaturals.com.
Big.
Use promo code SportsMapRadio for 20% off. Scratching beneath the surface. It's the second level on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander.
I don't get allergies. I don't. I'm allergic to what I know is a cat. I'm allergic to cats because as a kid, when I was very young, there was a cat in the house and I couldn't take it. So my parents, who at the time, and they got divorced when I was 2. So this tells you how young I was when they found out I was allergic to cats. Now I'm allergic to penicillin and sulfa drugs. I know that, as far as, if I were to have them for any type of medical purposes, but I don't get allergies every year. I don't have a debilitating pain that comes as a result of it. Every now and again, the sinuses, because of what you deal with in the really cold winter type elements. But it's September 22nd. It's going to be it's 65 right now. It's a little cool, but it's 65 right now in the greater Philadelphia area, Northeast, kind of dealing with similar weather. And in 2 hours, it's going to be up to 75. I say that because it's nowhere near the 30, 33 degrees that you'll get to start that really cold stretch of a winter. But I don't know if maybe you can develop allergies at a later age, or if there really is something to the merits of the theory that all of the wind that has taken the terrible air quality due to the fires that we've seen in the West Coast, and it's blown it throughout the country. And now people even all the way out here on the East Coast are dealing with the ramifications of that. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you without much, not any hyperbole, but without much hyperbole, I have not experienced this level of pressure between my eyes, sinus, I guess, level pressure in my life. And again, I don't normally get allergies. And I've seen people suffer from allergies really bad, to the point where they're taking OTC stuff, to the point where they're trying to get even something stronger to help with it. And I've always considered myself lucky in that regard, where I've never had to deal with it. So I don't know if all of a sudden I've developed some sort of allergy, but it definitely feels different than just your typical run-of-the-mill, oh, you've got a little sinus infection, something along those lines. And again, just from talking with people local to me, and even some family that I have that lives up and down the East Coast, it's definitely not just me. So I know I'm not just being some wimp out here complaining of it. I don't know what specifically it is, but I definitely buy that wind theory by all means. Told you about the I'm sorry package, something that we were questioning. What would happen if, in fact, you paid $100 to have a cardboard cutout of yourself at a baseball game? You get put in left or right field in the bleachers. Next thing you know, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Soto, doesn't matter who it is, Betts, somebody hits a home run, and there goes your head, decapitated. Does that mean that you get replaced? Does that mean that that's it, that your run was short-lived, but at least you were out there? Or do you get something as a result of it? Well, the Phillies, and of course, it always starts, and here we are, trend setting as always in this area, have put together a package they're dubbing the I'm sorry package. Now, 48 people, technically, cutouts of people, were smacked by home run balls at Citizens Bank Park in South Philadelphia so far. So the fans who got hit will get tickets to a 2021 game and a swag bag of team merchandise. The player who hit the homer depending on who hit the home run. So in the case of, let's say it's a Bryce Harper bomb, Bryce will autograph the cardboard cutout for the fan. Now that's pretty good right there. That's a pretty sweet deal. And if I don't care if it's the Phillies or any team for that matter, Yankees, whoever it may be, that's a pretty cool idea right there and not a bad deal. Now you're almost hoping. Are you not? Are you not hoping to get hit by a baseball? Maybe you were initially, and maybe that was part of the appeal of it, which is, hey, I spent $100 to have my face, my cardboard head out there in left field. Hopefully somebody can knock it. Hopefully Rhys Hoskins can decapitate my cardboard head with a home run. But you didn't really know what you'd get, so I don't know if there was much incentive for you to believe that or want that. Now there's a ton of incentive out. Now it's like, yeah, man, I definitely, it's not just a badge of courage that you can wear on your chest or a cool storyline at the virtual water cooler in the middle of a break while everybody's still mic'd up on Zoom. You know, I don't know if you were watching that Phillies Nationals game last night, but that was my head. They got decapitated by that home run ball. Yeah, that was me. No, I know. Different picture, a little bit older, kind of like my driver's license picture, and my hair's a different color, but go ahead. I still have it on my DVR. I can take a screenshot of it and send it to you if you don't believe me, but that was me. That was me out there. Now you can actually add something cool to just that story, which is on top. You know, I'm getting tickets to a game next year. It's not bad, right? And I'm also getting a swag. Now, who knows what a swag bag could be? It could be a couple of pens and a bottle opener. I have no idea what the swag bag is, but I'll say this. Getting your cardboard cutout returned with an autograph, that has to be worth something, right? I would imagine. Now, I don't know. We just had this Giannis basketball card sell for a record amount of money. Over $1 million, $1.8 million, the Giannis rookie card went for. Now, it was autographed, so that has a lot to do with it. Complete with a piece of the Greek Freaks rookie jersey was sold by Golden Auction. That's, just to put it in perspective, LeBron James, his rookie card, sold for 1.8. This sold for 1.812. Edged out LeBron James, but still, it's a ridiculous amount of cash. Now, neither one of these touched Mike Trout's rookie card that sold for almost $4 million. Remember when we talked about the Trout card that went for nearly $4 million? So I definitely look at that as a lot of value. I'm not talking about the signed cards that went for millions. I'm saying the signed cardboard cutout. What do you think you could get on eBay, let's say, or just the open market right now? And let's use the most popular player, depending on where you are. If you want to use Mike Trout, let's say, or here in Philadelphia, I'd use Bryce Harper. But again, it's a cardboard cutout of you. And I would say the same for me. Unless there's no head, there would be a bigger local, I would imagine, appeal for a cardboard cutout of me that Bryce Harper signed if my head has been decapitated. Where if the only reason
off his ball though.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's got to be that's the given, right?
Well, that's the whole catch in all of this is whoever hits the home run is the person that's going to sign the cardboard cutout that the ball hit. You understand?
Yes.
So if in fact, and I'm just kind of leaping to that circumstance there, which is let's assume that it's the best player, like Tatis Jr., for example, with the Padres, right? How much do you think Joe or Jones Smith cardboard cutout that got hit by... Now, here's the thing. Here's where the added value is, Ron Culver. It's not just an autographed cardboard cutout that has been signed by Fernando Tatis Jr. It's also a cardboard cutout that we know has been physically hit by a home run ball by Fernando Tatis Jr. I think that would add a little bit more value, don't you?
I think so, but I don't even think it's 4 figures.
What are we talking about here?
A couple $100 maybe. Are you thinking more?
couple $100. That's a lot of money. I think that
You think
could.
it's too much?
No, I don't know. I have
I mean,
no
if it's
idea.
autographed. What's a Bryce Harper autograph going for? That's not like on a rookie baseball card or something unique. When you
Like
bring that up.
somebody just autographing a random piece of paper or an envelope or
Right.
something like that. I saw fill in the blank baseball player at the local Publix, and all I had was this envelope that had a bill in it. So I had him sign that. That's what you're saying, right?
Right.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I don't even know where to begin setting any type of parameters in that conversation. $100? Like Mike Trout, let's just use Trout as an example because his card went for nearly $4 million. Now, granted, it was
You're not getting that.
no, you're not getting $4 million, but could you get $100 for Ron Culver bumping into Mike Trout at the local Publix, only having a bill that's in an envelope and having Trout sign that envelope and then putting that on eBay? Could you get $100 for that? I would think so. Or is what you sign as important as who's signing
All
it?
right, so here we go. I guess I don't know what an AP is, but a 3x5 AP, maybe photo,
Okay.
right? For Mike Trout is worth $35.
And that's okay. Well, that's a signed photo
3x5
of him.
Yeah, probably a 3x5 photo of him, which is like the size of an index card.
Now,
A gum card is 150. A ball
there you go.
is 200.
So the reason why that AP photo was so cheap is probably because there are a bunch of them out, right? Because he's
Yeah,
probably signed so many until his arm felt like, it was falling off.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Here's a photo here for sale, but no, there's no money attached to it.
Right. It's a major difference, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of. I mean, I'm looking at Mike Trout. There's a poster, $12.50. No, but I don't think it's signed.
But again, these are posters of him, which you can
Right.
easily find.
Yeah.
So I think that the unique content that could be signed by Trout might actually add, like how many white envelopes that have, that cellophane or what is it called? That film, like that clear film in which you can slide in where the address goes of the bill. And when you get it, you know that it's a bill. That, like how many of those are floating around with Mike Trout's signature on it? Yeah, it might be a complete. Okay, let me ask you this. Would you buy it? Let's say that for argument's sake, Mike Trout is the favorite athlete of one of your kids and they're obsessed with Trout. Like that's all he cares about. Mike Trout. And you saw on eBay some random cardboard cutout of a fan, Joan Smith. You couldn't pick her out of a lineup. You have no idea who the hell she is. But her signed cardboard cutout by Mike Trout is available for you. Buy it now for $200. Would
Here
you
we go.
do it?
So Mike Trout 8x10 autograph photo. I guess that's what AP stands for. Autograph photo.
Yeah.
On glossy photo paper. This guy has one. He's selling it through his company called Vegas Sports, and it's for $8.95. $8.95.
But it's probably just a stock photo
It's
of
a stock
Trout.
photo. It's a generic photo.
Yeah.
Of Mike Trout.
That's the thing.
So okay, so now we have that. We have that base, $8.95.
For a generic photo.
Right. So now if we throw Mike Trout's signature on a head of a cardboard cutout.
Random person, though. Would you pay $200 for it?
No.
Not even if one of your kids was the biggest diehard fan of Trout?
Is the photo, is it a funny photo? I mean, is it a funny
No,
face?
it's not even that's the thing. It's just somebody's cardboard. It's somebody's god awful picture that they use from their driver's license. I don't know. It's
Yeah, no.
All right.
Nah, it's not worth it.
This conversation, I'm sure, is not going away. We have fake news coming up next. The Philly Godfather is going to join us at 12:40 Eastern. Busy final 35 here on the Second Level Sports Map Radio.
Wake up call.
Starting with the
What about an
Arizona
envelope?
Cardinals
You think
hosting
that'll
the
go for
Washington
more?
Redskins. Oh, come on, Dwayne.
No. I mean, what are you looking at here?
Why?
The Washington football team. Like just like a generic white envelope?
Yeah, it's something
Dollar
that
every time
like
you-
your water bill comes in.
No, I don't think that would go for I think I would go for like $5. We're talking if a Mike Trout photo, 8x10 photo is not even $10. A generic white envelope is far less.
Pick Michael Thomas as an ankle injury that's probably going to
Wait a
plague him
second.
all year.
Probably.
What do you mean?
Remember when we talked about Kevin Durant in basketball? We were like, when is he coming back?
I just
from
sent
that?
you
It's-
Philly Godfather's number.
Thomas is just
Wait,
going to
what do you mean? Don't you think that something that is less likely to be out there is going to have more value to it?
It'll be like that for 9.
I don't know if an envelope, just a generic envelope, because then you're not really buying the envelope. You're just buying Mike Trout's signature, which is everywhere. Now, is there something cool with the envelope? Did he end up paying the bill for that envelope?
I mean, it's that simple. Plus, who wants to go to a Dolphin game anyway? They suck. They're not going to play Tua. They're going to suck anyway, like they always do. So who wants to go to a Dolphin game? Joe Ranieri knows they suck too. I wouldn't bet on him if it hit me in the head.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
The second level.
German lower league side SG Ripdorf Molzen 2 suffered a 37-0 defeat on Sunday after only fielding 7 players in a bid to maintain social distancing against their opponents as they feared contracting the coronavirus. So I don't know here. I mean, what about the 7 guys who were thrown out there, right? Is that just by lotto? How do you determine that? They threw 7 guys out there on the pitch, and they got pounded into the ground 37-0. The Clippers didn't even lose that bad. Why wouldn't you just not play the match? Wouldn't that be the best thing to do? If you're going to take the L, you know you're not going to win with only 7 guys out there anyway. So what statement are you making here?
The second level with Eitan Shander. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you thinking that it's time to start looking for a new car? Then go to automotivemap.com to see the latest auto news, find out about what's ahead for your favorite brands, and learn how much that new car will cost you. Automotivemap.com is your place to see reviews, check out the hottest exotic cars, read tales from the road, and get acquainted with the luxury automotive lifestyle. Into hot mods? Want to see the cars celebrities drive? Love a good restoration job? From off-roading to on-roading, automotivemap.com has it covered. Visit automotivemap.com today.
So, can I ask you a question?
Fake news with Ron. With all the fake news out there,
Don't believe those lies.
it's on Shander to give it to you straight. 3 stories, but only one is fake.
It's true. I know it's a weird thought, but it's true.
Can Shander spot the fraud? Here's Ron Culver.
Now, Shander, you went with John yesterday,
Correct.
and that gave you a free pass. So today you don't have any help, though.
I don't have any. We should look at the difference in records, right?
We should, but you know what? That means we'd have to go back to the tape, and who has the time? Let's just move forward.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's just say, you know what? I mean, usually you get them without John.
Not usually.
No, would you? I say, I mean, I think you miss more when we have John do it than not.
My record's not great without John.
No, but I think because you usually go against John.
And he usually gets them right.
He usually gets them right.
Right. So when we don't have
So, I mean,
McMullen, I
that's twice
struggle.
a week right there where you're normally wrong.
Correct. Broken clock is usually right 2 times a day. I'm mostly wrong 2 times a week at least. All right. Well,
At least.
let's see if I can do any better
Let's
today.
see. All right. Ready?
Yes.
2 Utah men are now convicted felons after cheating in a bass fishing tournament.
Well, I can't wait to hear this.
Apparently, these 2 guys were in a bass fishing tournament that was based on weight. It was a 2-day event. They brought fish from one lake into another to try to pass it off. So after the first day, they were in second place, but the tournament directors were kind of fishy about the fish that they were bringing in.
Something smelled a little fishy.
Yeah. And because they were like, well, you know, these fish have smaller heads but bigger bodies, unlike the fish that are being caught in this lake. And these fish have red fins, which normally denotes stress. And then they were able to uncover the plot. And these guys, I guess, have been doing it up and down all these different fishing tournaments, bringing fish in from a different lake.
Okay, but here's the thing. That last part is the one that I have the most issue with or the biggest conflict in all of this. And I'm not saying it's because of you or the story itself, but just in general with these people assuming it's real. They've actually been able to get away with it for so long. Yet when you hear the reason why they got caught, it's almost as if the tournaments that they were in either didn't care or didn't know to check for that stuff. And maybe they overestimated what they were getting into here on this tournament. Was this like a bigger tournament than they're used to?
I don't know if it's a bigger tournament. The prize package or the prize amount for first place was $2,500.
Well, that's not a lot of money.
The funny thing is that these guys had finished first, second, or third in previous tournaments.
Well, bringing fish from another lake into the one that you're currently competing in is definitely some next level way to cheat. All right, that's story one.
Story number two, a dog in Huntington Beach, which is in California, not sure if you know, just set the world record for biggest waves surfed after by a canine, obviously not by a human.
Okay, I was going to say, you know.
After it rode an 8-foot wave all the way to the shore.
Why would somebody as a dog owner, why would you subject your pet, your animal to this?
There are some dogs who love it, and for whatever
How do you
reason,
know they
usually
love it?
Labradors and Bulldogs, because you can see the joy on their face.
I disagree. It's like telling me some drugged up ape or a rat or something at the zoo loves some polar bear loves its captivity because they don't look like they're going
Nobody
crazy.
loves captivity. Except for the neurotic animals. Maybe a field mouse would love its captivity, knowing that it'll never get eaten.
Well, what's crazy about this story is that, as you mentioned, there was already an existing record. So it's not like this was a one-time
there's
thing.
a record for everything.
All right, what's
you come upon records all the time going, is that really a world record? Somebody set that?
That's right. And somebody went out and tried to break it. Somebody subjected their dog to, I'm sure, hours of surfing just to try to break that record.
Or just got lucky, I guess.
Maybe. If we're all lucky, then maybe. All right, what's the third story?
Third story, Japan has created a life-size Gundam robot standing over 60 feet tall and has just moved into the testing phase.
Haven't they seen RoboCop 2?
Obviously not.
This is
Or
a disaster.
Any Terminator movie.
Seriously.
Anywhere. The robot stands about 60 feet tall, and it is a life-size identical version of the Gundam robot from that. What's that animated?
The cartoon.
Japanese anime. It's like making Voltron real.
Right. Why?
Because you need to do that when you have to fight Godzilla.
I guess they saw a little blip on the radar a couple of 1,000 miles out that Godzilla was. It's not
I'm
beta
thinking-
or
I'm
gamma.
thinking Japan got wise and said, "Hey guys, listen, 2020 crap show. We gotta be prepared."
At this point, you're right. Now, to be fair, you're right. We really can't put anything out there as inconceivable in 2020. All right,
Are we ready? I think we need to move forward with those Pacific Rim robots. You ever see that movie, Pacific Rim?
Yes.
I think we need to move forward with those.
No,
robots.
I've never seen that movie. The preview was enough for me to stay away. But yes, I know what you're talking
the first
about.
one's it's not bad. It's not bad. A little campy, but not bad.
So I'm going to roll with story one here because
fake one?
as the fake one. Yeah, story 3 is just too believable because that cartoon is. And where in the world would you even pull that out of if in fact it was fake? Story 2, again, we've seen this happen before. The dog surfing, the animals out there in the beach, and especially the dog surfing is something that is not new to the scene. I'm going to say story 1 is fake.
Story 1?
Yes.
Man, where is John McMullen when you need him? Story 2 is the fake story.
Thank goodness it's fake.
Now, there are records for longest wave, but not nearly as long as you'd possibly think because the owner has to stand in the water and put the dog on the board and let go.
This is a terrible thing. Shame on anybody out there who's surfing their dog.
No, they're little. I mean, you know what? If you watch them, they're
Like a boogie board or something?
Yeah, well, no, they'll put them on a surfboard, but they're little ankle biter waves. They're not extreme at all.
Poor dog.
An 8-foot wave. I mean, that's tough for a human to ride. You kidding me? A
That's
dog
true.
gets swallowed up.
I should have known. I should have relied more on my surfing knowledge.
So that means the robot is real.
Of course it's real.
There were 2 men trying to defraud fishing tournaments up and down the Utah area.
That in its own right is bizarre.
Jay Farner here,
Nice.
CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Listen every weekday at 8:57 a.m. and 3:57 p.m. Eastern as SportsMap Radio presents Odds and Ends, brought to you by BetUS, a simply better sportsbook. Call 800-MY-BET-US today. Host Matt Peralt will break down the odds of games, fights, and matches while also providing his keen insight as a Las Vegas insider on how to bet and even giving you his picks. Odds and Ends runs every weekday, Monday through Friday, exclusively on the SportsMap Radio Network.
At CDW, we get that even the biggest jobs need to fit on your lap.
It's true. My entire workday happens right here on my lap.
And you can get it done faster with the performance and security of a device configured by CDW and powered by 10th Gen Intel Core V Pro processors.
10th Gen Intel. I remember that.
More time for story time.
An even better use of your lap.
When that first
orchestration
came.
By CDW. People who
Is that
get
the
it.
same
Find
spot?
out more at cdw.com/Intel Be Great.
No, it's different than the one we run here.
The pursuit is on. The pursuit of outperformance at PGIM, the investment management business of Prudential, with deep expertise to outthink across asset classes, outsteer, actively managing investments in global markets, outscale, with resources to serve 1,500 clients in 52 countries, and outlast, with long-term conviction that looks beyond today's volatility. Join the pursuit of outperformance at pgim.com. That's pgim.com.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
3rd floor study hall.
My dining room table. Homeroom Monday and Tuesday. My living room Wednesday to Friday.
Wherever school happens for you this year, Staples has amazing prices on everything your student needs. This week, get 20% off copies and prints for school. That's 20% off posters, worksheets, schedules, and reports. Shop in-store or pick up curbside. School on, save on. Staples. Visit staples.com/school printing for coupon. In-store only. Exclusions apply. Ends 10/31. Curbside available in most stores.
You got Steve?
You're listening.
Yep, he's good to go.
Great. Thank you, man.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios with way more than the scores. Here's Eitan Shander.
So we head out immediately to the progressive guest line. Waste no time with our next guest, who is world famous when it comes to all prognostications regarding sports betting. Seen him everywhere. Continue to follow along with tweets, and hopefully you are a card-carrying member of the PhillyGodfather.com. And that is, of course, the Philly Godfather at Philly Godfather on Twitter. My friend, always a pleasure. Appreciate your time. Hopefully all is well with you and yours, PGF.
Yeah, everything's doing great, man. First week was a little choppy, NFL and college football, but this weekend was great. We killed the NFL last night. We actually laid 3.5 on the Raiders plus 300. We took an alternate line because we loved the game. We loved the way the Raiders were going to play. We loved the fact that, the Saints coming off that week 1 victory over Tampa Bay, where the Buccaneers actually had more total yards, more first downs, I think they controlled the time of possession clock as well, but they turned the ball over 3 times. So it was a big divisional game for the Saints. Then they got to travel out to Las Vegas without Michael Thomas. We knew they weren't going to be performing at an optimum level. And we laid the 3.5 on the Raiders on the alternate line plus 300 and got back 3-1 on our money.
Look at that. It's I would say I'm surprised, but knowing you and following along and learning from you now for years, the shock is completely removed when you can nail something like that far out. But I am curious, as you mentioned, week 1 to now week 2, the one thing that has been consistent is the injury and clearly the factor that's not going away. How do we look at this? Is there an element where you're flying blind now, maybe these couple of weeks more so than ever, just because of how often we've seen guys go down and knowing that that's probably not going to go away in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to hurt the futures market. I mean, the futures market are so volatile and so hard to predict. And the injuries, impact the futures market more than any other market. But to me, injuries are opportunities. And they're masked opportunities. Anytime there's a problem, there's an opportunity. And you look at this week Giants, 49ers game. I mean, the line opened up 7. It's down to 4.5. The Giants are the right side here. San Francisco's banged up. Garoppolo's banged up. I mean, on offense, on defense. And there's a great opportunity to earn some money here with the 0-2 Giants team that, isn't as bad as they looked. I mean, they were in the game against the Steelers. They didn't cover the spread. They covered last week against the Bears, so they're 1-1 against the closing number. But this team should come out, and have an opportunity to actually win this game outright. And with all the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and the fact that Saquon isn't, running the ball for the Giants. I mean, if you look at the Giants' first 2 games of the season, I think they have 104 rushing yards, and Danny Dimes has 43 of them. So this is a passing team. I love the Giants this week. I love the over 41. I think you'd be able to cash a ticket if you bet them both. I actually also bet them in the parlay, so there's some money to be made.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look at how that second half played out. And foolishly, like an idiot, PGF, I jumped on the Bears live minus 10.5 in that game when Saquon Barkley first went out. And then when he was out for good, I'm looking at that number thinking, all right, I might have something here. Giants go out and outscore the Bears in the second half. Chicago doesn't even get a point in the second half. And that further reinforces what you just laid out about anybody who hears your analysis thinking, well, they don't have Saquon Barkley, they're cooked. They didn't have Saquon in the end of the second half either. So you look at that game as you give us the Giants and also that total there as well. Where else? You mentioned you had them in a parlay. Where else did you see some value to attach that Giants game with another?
Well, I bet the Giants. I bet the over in the game. Any other game on the board this week? I mean, look at the Jacksonville Jags. They've been looking pretty good the first week of the season. I mean, they got lucky against the Colts team. I really, I was bullish on the Colts this year. I still am. But if you look at that box score, the Colts almost had twice as many yards as the Jags, and they were kind of lucky with the turnovers the Colts gave them in that game. And then last week against Tennessee, I mean, they covered the spread again, so I think they're 2-0 against the spread. And then this week, here comes the Miami Dolphins, and the Jags are at home, and they're only laying 2.5. So to me, the bookmakers are begging you to take the Jags here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Miami wins this game outright.
Yeah, I love that, especially when we've seen Jacksonville play well enough to where people can kind of sucker them in. Is there anything that you can take away from how bad the Falcons blew that game against the Cowboys? They lay 3.5, I see here, for this game against the Bears. Bears come in at 2-0, and I don't know how fraudulent of a 2-0 that is. It's a tight line against 2 teams that have their own storylines kind of already built in early in the season. Did you look at that game, and any thoughts on that specifically, if so?
I mean, the line's at 3.5. They're begging for Bears money. You're getting a 2-0 team plus 3.5 points on the road against an 0-2 team. So that's the first red flag that you got to look at and ask yourself, why is this 2-0 team getting 3.5 points? You know what I mean? They're trying to reel you in. And the Bears have been lucky with how these games have played out. And I always talk to people, and I tell them, listen, the teams that outperform the market usually go far, and end up in the playoffs. The teams that are better than what the odds makers think they are, teams like Arizona this year, and the Falcons are better than, what the record indicates. I mean, you see offensively, they're such a strong team. And this week, I mean, if you're looking to take 3.5 on the Bears, I haven't done my full research on these games because I usually read between, 3 to 4 hours on each matchup. But, just looking at it, right now, looking at the market, laying 3.5 on the Falcons is probably the right side.
PGF, and of course, we're chatting with the Philly Godfather at Philly Godfather on Twitter. ThePhillyGodfather.com is the website. Here locally, it's clearly a game in which a lot of us believe the Philadelphia Eagles are going to come out and win. The minus 250 on the money line for a reason. The Bengals are in town. It has dropped a half a point since I saw it yesterday from 6.5 to 6. Why is it moving in that direction, and do you anticipate it moving any more?
Man, this is a team that, 2 weeks in a row, they lose by double digits. You can't blame them losing the Rams. The Rams are a pretty good team, but the first week of the season, they lose to the Redskins, a team that's supposed to win 5 games on the season. This team has some problems. They have some injury problems. Wentz doesn't look the same. And to be honest, I don't think the Eagles should be laying 6 against anyone in the NFL right now with the way they've looked. You got a solid quarterback, in Burrows that you saw what he did Monday night. He had the backdoor cover against that Browns team. That kid doesn't give up. This is a game that I'm not looking to get down on. I think everyone's going to expect the Eagles to bounce back after starting off 0-2. And it's, this is the season right here. You start off 0-3, you're not going to make the playoffs. I think it's like 80% of the time. So, I don't know. I'm not touching this game. I do have a little bias. I am from Philadelphia. I do want my Eagles to win. So sometimes I got to just look at this game and just be like, you know what? I'm not touching it because I do have a little emotion involved, even though throughout the years I've bet against them a million times and I bet on them. But this is a game I'm not looking to wager on.
So the only way, and I'm actually really happy you said that, because even at 6, knowing it went down to half point, it's a lot. It's a big number in general in the NFL. And as you laid out, this Eagles team doesn't deserve to be in that position against anybody. But we know what's at stake starting 0-3, especially in this city, as much heat as they've taken already. Teasing them down to a pick 'em, I would think would be, especially if we've already identified or if there's another game that truly makes the most sense as far as teasing somebody up or down. But if you can get the Eagles simply teased down to a pick 'em, I would think that that's a lock, no?
Well, you still got to find another team to tease them down with. But
Sure.
Yeah, anytime you got a home team and you can get them in a, I don't want to. It's a must-win situation at home. You tease them down to basically a pick 'em. It's more times than not you're going to win that side, but you also got you also got to fill that teaser in with another team. So who are you going to pick? You know what I mean?
Well, maybe I'll tease the Colts down to 4.5 or 3. Feel a little bit better about that.
If you're going to look to tease them down, definitely use a home team, man. Just
Right.
Definitely use a home team.
How do you look at it? And this is interesting to get your thoughts on this. How do you look at what's happening with the Chargers moving forward? They covered that. It was a ridiculously big line. We had it here on the show, and it just jumped out like it was too big of a number, especially with Baltimore looming week 3, what they did opening up the season against Houston week 1. So we know what happened. Chiefs could not cover that 8.5. But now moving forward, Chargers laying 6.5 at home. I know there's no Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers, and that's a story in its own right. But how do you look at a Chargers team where Justin Herbert played really well as a rookie quarterback, his debut, but then also hearing from the head coach, Anthony Lynn, that it's Tyrod Taylor's job to lose if he's healthy? It's really difficult to know early how to get any value early in the week if you don't know who the quarterback is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the quarterback is the most important person on the field, especially when it pertains to the Vegas spread. So, I mean, if Herbert plays, that team is a lot better than with Tyrod Taylor. I mean, he can run the ball. He showed he can run the ball. He's a much better passer, and he can put up some points. I mean, you saw what he did against the Chiefs. This is a kid that has a big future in the NFL, and if he starts this week, I would have no problem laying 6 against this Carolina Panthers team.
All right, PGF, last one for you, man. And I know that you haven't put in everything yet. It's still a Tuesday, so we're trying to get you early here in the week. But has there been any game so far that has jumped out that no matter what you've seen, no matter what you've read, no matter what you've heard, you're staying as far away from it as humanly possible? Because this is a good indication for our listeners as well. Somebody who's may thinking, oh, well, that Broncos-Bucks game is a lock. And then they hear PGF here, the Philly Godfather, on this show say, don't touch that game. So I don't know. It's early. It's Tuesday. But I don't know if there's a game that you've seen so far that no matter what the circumstance is or even a little bit of a line shift, you would not touch at all.
I'd be a little weary of the Steelers team this week going up against Houston. Line opened up at 6. It's down to 4. I've seen it as low as 3.5. As of right now, I think over 70% of the bet splits are on the Steelers. This Houston team has come out a little flat, but they've played the Chiefs and they've played the Ravens, arguably the two best teams in the NFL. Again, 0-2. This is their season. If you're looking to bet the Steelers, I'd be careful there.
Well, okay. Well, then what if I tease the Texans up to 9.5 and the Eagles down to a pick 'em? You feel better about that?
Yeah, that sounds like a good bet. I mean, it's still early in the week. You still don't know who's playing, who's not playing. I would wait till later on in the week before I start betting those teasers.
Fair enough, brother. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you, Philly Godfather, at Philly Godfather on Twitter, the Philly Godfather online. There's a reason why this man continues to make you and anyone else out there who's fortunate enough to be on the team money every year because he knows his stuff. Thank you, sir.
Good luck, guys.
All right, that's the Philly Godfather, PGF, as we call him here on the show. You hear a lot of them throughout the NFL season. He dominates, and we try to bring people on who can do that, who can provide some value and some insight, and then it all of a sudden turns into a little bit of money. Funny how that works. One for the road. We'll hit that next. It's the second level on Sports Map Radio.
The second level.
This is Bill Belichick on Fans. Well, you'll hear the question.
What was the atmosphere like in the stadium without fans there? Can you compare it to anything else that you've experienced in your football life? Practice.
He doesn't even flinch. I'm telling you, this is an Abbott and Costello. They've worked on this thing. You don't just walk in with that level of timing.
The second level with Eitan Shander, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Wake up call. Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, yeah. Gruden's kind of ticked off at him.
Yeah. Derek Carr last Sunday decided to call an audible.
Hey, Cindy Gruden, Tiger Woods.
I could see him going, Derek, now you got to pick other names besides my wife. I got to be honest with you. She's not a huge fan of being on it. And I'm not really.
It won't
either,
let me do a
it'd be better
teaser
if
here.
you just
Not
didn't
amazing?
mention her name. But what if Derek Carr goes, it was the ultimate compliment? I was calling a hot route and your wife is hot.
Would you want Derek Carr, who's a good-looking man, be calling your wife out for being hot? And not only that, but in the same context of Tiger Woods. Okay, you called a hot route. What's Tiger Woods mean?
True. Good point. That combination doesn't work. No. If I was Gruden, I wouldn't mind mentioning the wife, but not in the same sentence as Tiger Woods.
Wake up call with Tony B and Ron Culver, weekday mornings from 7 to 9 Eastern.
Stop with the Jeff Van Gundy for the 1,000th time getting every job that's open in the NBA for the last 15 years. The guy's got the cushiest job in television. If he comes back after what has it been, 20 years to coach, I'll keel over. I mean, he's been offered every job in America. He's been offered the White House, and he turned that down too.
Pharrell Coast to Coast with Scott Pharrell, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern.
Where are jobs in radio given out? They're not given out on a college campus. No, they're given out
So do you have a one for the road?
in radio.
Do you? I
And to
don't,
get
but
it-
I mean, yes. Okay.
That's where Radio Connection comes in. Most schools train you on campus. Radio Connection gives you the opportunity to learn from professional mentors in real radio stations. They've put their private classrooms in these places so you can apprentice under professionals. And as you learn, you're making connections and gaining access to the people that are doing the hiring. This is not the promise of a job, no. But it is a promise to get you as close to the action.
So I feel like my tolerance for
COVID is a
coffee
concern,
has
no
gone
problem.
up, but
You
only
can
at the
learn from a
start
radio
of me
professional
drinking
via
it.
remote learning
Meaning
tools
it's
as
taking
well.
longer
This is
for the caffeine to
education
hit my
reimagined
body.
to keep you
But
out
when
of
it
debt
does, I'm
as you
still
learn
as
in
fired
real
up and
world
wired
settings.
as normal.
Interested? Visit radioconnection.com
Does that make sense?
for more information today. That's
Yes.
count.
Not odd though.
No, it's like anything. I mean, you can build a tolerance up for alcohol.
Yeah, but
It takes you longer to get drunk.
it takes you longer because you need more in it. I don't feel like I need more coffee. I just feel like the coffee itself is taking longer to get to me.
Beneath the surface. It's
Like I'm not.
Your body
Presented by Rock.
building up antibodies because caffeine's a drug.
That's true.
Here's
All right.
Eitan Shander.
One for the road before we turn things over. Top of the hour, Matt Perrault pushing the odds. What do you have today, my friend? I'm sure. Yes.
A 1 horsepower speed chase.
Okay. I assume, was this like something out of the Amish country here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
You would hope. No, this took place on a Chicago highway during rush hour.
Was it one person running?
No, horse.
Well, I didn't know if maybe we had a
one
fast.
horsepower is 1 horse.
But how fast is 1 horsepower? 20, 30 miles per
Yeah,
hour?
probably.
Okay.
So anyways, the way the story goes, Census Cowboy rides again. That's his name, the Census Cowboy. Got on his horse and rode.
He got on his high horse.
Got on his high horse and rode down the freeway. I guess the Dan Ryan Expressway. I don't know. I don't remember freeways in Chicago, but the Dan Ryan Expressway during rush hour was riding on horseback, sprinting down the freeway.
Was he running away from anybody, or was this just
Well,
a stunt?
The cops did it. Well, it's a stunt on his behalf because basically the reason why he was doing this was for hashtag Kids Lives Matter, which is to bring awareness to the 2020 census.
What is going on in this country?
He was
Seriously.
flanked by
Is there no?
motorcyclists.
Well, hold on a second. Is there no better way to bring awareness to fill in whatever the cause is?
I know you have Twitter open. Just put in Census Cowboy right now.
No,
You'll see
I
the video.
refuse to give this man
No,
any
you-
more.
No, you got to.
I'm out.
You got to see a horse sprinting down a freeway while a cop car is right behind it.
Well, you can't out of fear of cruelty to the animal. It's not like you can sideswipe the horse.
Yeah. I think you can do the pivot maneuver.
I don't know.
Listen, I mean, you know what? That guy decided to put his horse in harm's way. He knew when he jumped on that he was potentially making glue.
But hold on a second. Why can't you just take out one of those jouster things in duels
And come at him the other way.
or behind
You
him?
should.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's in full cowboy gear, so you don't know what he's packing. You come out with a jousting stick. He comes out with a 6-shooter. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, I assume that all the other police that are carrying something
is-
far better than a
And is
6-shooter.
Is that what they call him back in the day too? A 6-shooter?
Yeah, and if that guy pulls a 6-shooter out, then
I was
he's
literally trying to figure out the most Western way to say a gun.
6-shooter.
6-shooter. That's it. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. That guy deserves everything, including being thrown off the
So,
horse.
He was arrested, and so was his horse. His horse was put in one of those.
Well, what happens to the horse?
trailers? Well, I mean, is it the horse's fault?
No, not at all. I mean, this
Could
is
be. The horse had every right to say, you know what, Bob, or I'm sorry,
what's his name?
Census Cowboy.
We don't even know what the Census Cowboy's name is.
Oh, I had it earlier, but I don't remember now. That was a long time ago.
I don't know. I feel like the horse is just an accomplice here, although the horse probably isn't a willing accomplice. I doubt the horse woke up that day and thought, yeah, let's go down the freeway. Probably wanted to eat carrots and grass, right? Or whatever the hell else the horse eats.
Carrots and apples.
Carrots and apples, right. Not go down the freeway in the middle of Chicago. That would be my guess. Is that it?
So his name is Dreadhead Cowboy. He's also been dubbed the Census Cowboy by